Check, check. Welcome in, everybody. How are we doing this evening? Appreciate y'all being here on time. Gonna give it a couple more minutes, let people trickle in. Nice. See your spies, Tesla. Let me write these down like usual. I'll send out one last message and we're getting started, guys. Tesla, Amazon, AVGO. All right, Joe. You guys are on time, so we're going to start. I'm not going to wait for anybody else or the stragglers. With that, guys, welcome to all the new members. It's a new year, so I know there's a lot of sales going on. Glad to have you guys here. My Discord name is StartedWith. I'm one of the staff members here, so I appreciate you all being here. But with that, you guys, we're going to get started. We're going to dive in. I always start these Sunday lectures with SPY and QQQ, kind of give what we're looking at, what we kind of should be looking at, some things I'm eyeing, some bigger time frame stuff. Real quick, one thing I wanted to start with you guys. Tilios touched on his newsletter week after week, talking about breadth, of the market, meaning, he wants to see, other participants in the market, not just, 8 or 10 big tech names, that is. And so this is RSP, this chart. This is the daily of RSP. It is the S&P 500, but it's equal weighted. And so let me see if I can pull this up for you guys real quick. So this is SPY. This is regular SPY holdings. We can see how tech heavy everything is. But if I go to RSP, we can see how differently weighted it will be for you guys. And so I just like to point this out, that so when we start see how everything's kind of more equally weighted, not big 6, 8, 9% holdings, stuff like that. So I just wanted to point that out to you guys, because this is the RSP chart, and it appears as of now, it is holding these lows down here at 175. There's multiple bounces. It's held for 5, 6, 7, 8 days, whatever this is. Zachary, yeah, I'm talking. Can everyone else hear me? Hopefully I can see the meters on my microphone, but if not, let me know, guys. Zachary, make sure you don't have something plugged in, earbuds, whatever it is. But yeah, this is RSP, you guys, and it was sell since basically Thanksgiving, and now it's kind of putting in a bottom down here. So this is just one thing to be watching. Again, this is saying that other market participants other than big tech or Apple's, AMD, Nvidia's, they're kind of holding now. They're kind of waking up, and so if you want to be a mega bull on this market, and you want to see multiple trend day up, then this is what we need to look for, to see these names participating, and it's slowly starting to hold, which is good. And so I just want to point that out to you guys, that it's not the cleanest, the prettiest chart down here, but it is holding this 175 zone. So there's some moves being made in the market other than big tech. Okay, so go to our SPY chart now. I'm going to keep going with what we've been working with last week. Again, this is the daily. Let's take note of where we held and why we held, why we bounced, where we bounced. This old all-time high zone from October, this zone here, we can see how important that is in those big buybacks once we get down there. Again, this day started here, sold down, or this day started here, sold down and closed here, but a big buyback up to reclaim that level there. So that's something very, very important to watch. And on Friday, we pretty much closed right at our daily 9 moving average. As you can see, it's literally right there, basically at 593-ish, 592.75. Okay, right where that wick is, the high of day Friday. And so for me, again, this is the daily chart. We'll zoom in and get a kind of a game plan, because I know there's some people that looks like they may have swung some SPYs positions. But again, for me, this 590.15, I'm going to treat that as our floor for the week. As I always say, it's our floor and our ceiling. This is our floor. This is the downside level for the week until that breaks. And then overhead, we got this trend line, a very important trend line, okay? So let's go to the 1 hour chart, you guys, and build a game plan off of that and kind of show you how it still all makes sense and how we can build a game plan, you know, because after all, you know, most of us, we are day traders. Nightwing 850, you have a SPY call 594, 65 cents. Let me know when that expires. Hopefully not tomorrow, because you're gonna have a lot of theta decay. But again, you guys, my hope, let me get the drawings pulled up here. I hope we kind of open somewhere down here, and I want to see some pre-market action down here and a back test of this. They don't always make it that easy on us, but for me, it's basically an old resistance right here is now support, and we're back up over that. So basically, just a back test of this to get in, or next best case scenario, January 6th. That's tomorrow expiration. Yeah, you're gonna have a little bit of theta decay. So depending on where you bought Nightwing, or what time you bought, your decay is going to offset. You're going to need a gap up for that to pay you, or a big move quick in the day, because essentially when we open the market, that is now a 0 DTE. And if we open basically flat, meaning where we closed, you're going to have a theta decay hit. We can look at that later on how much that is. But for SPY tomorrow, guys, two options for me to get bullish. We either open at or over 592. That's just a little squiggly line right here, basically where we closed at, and a push up or any test and a push up more again, and we'll target these levels here. 594, the big 595.43 is possible, easily possible in one day. Or any opens under 592. If we start looking like we have some trouble here, you know, we're not just going to be bearish just because we look left and we're rejecting that level there from that would be Thursday. Okay, so we need to find reasons to be bullish and bearish each day and each setup. And that's, for me, that's how I'm going to play this move here. So again, any opens over this 590.15, 590.15, a dip buyer, any sells under that. So if we kind of open down here and we slice through this right away and we push up and we fail to break over, to me, I'm going to start looking for price action like this from Thursday. So if we keep rejecting this, that's how, if you know, we're failing to reclaim a support, and so I'm treating that as some sort of a structure like this. I don't know if we get this big day or something like this, but that's how I treat it. So if I'm looking at this chart on the 1 hour and it's like, okay, we're failing to break over this, you know, you either wait to buy your dip buys or let them take their turn sellers, and you buy some key levels, or you take your puts and you trim and you trim and you trim. Okay, but this 590.15 is a big spot for me. George, these are just, they're the daily moving averages. So on the daily, you know, so we talk about the 9 moving average daily, the 20 moving average, you know, like intraday, we talk about like exponential moving averages, but these are my daily time frames. But the cool thing about Thinkorswim is you can do a multi-time frame and always know where they're at. So for example, if I go to Webull, I have to be on the daily chart to know where this daily 9 is right here at 592.75, George. But Thinkorswim, you can turn on a multi-time frame moving average. Take a screenshot if you guys want to do it. And so when I go to a smaller time frame, let's just say the 15-minute, okay? We're in calls, we're pushing up, and this line, assuming we open flat-ish, that line will open around here, and we're pushing up and be like, oh man, why aren't we breaking higher? Why aren't we breaking higher? Well, you zoom out to the daily, and that's your daily 9 moving average. But again, on Thinkorswim, intraday, I'm able to see where it's at on any time frame, because Thinkorswim is pretty awesome for that. Okay, good question. So I use the 9 and the 20. Okay, any questions on SPY, you guys? How to play it, what to do Monday, any positions you're in? Otherwise, I'm gonna go to QQQ. Okay. I don't like the 1 minute. I feel like I don't know how to word it, but you just don't have a clear view on the market when you're on the 1 minute, just you can look at, because I think when people are on the 1 minute, I see it a lot in the chat. They're like, oh, SPY dumped, and they're like, and then everyone's like, look at the chart. I'm like, well, it moved down here to here, but you're on the 1 minute, and that looks like a big candle. So for me, I don't like the 1 minute. I trade on the 5 and the 15. I trade on a dual chart setup. So when I'm in a trade, the 5 minute will be on the top, and the 15 or 30 is on the bottom, and that's how I trade. There's people that are successful on the 1 minute, but for me, I don't like that Zoom user. I just don't like the 1 minute. It just like, so a 1 minute doesn't give you very much information. Okay. This is a 30-minute chart. Look at all this information this gives us. Each one of these candles is a 30-minute candle. So we can see, going back to my point about 590.15, any sells into this, we should treat this as support until it's not. Okay. All these candle bodies here, that's an hour and a half of information there. These are not 1 minute candles. So that's not 3 hours of information. This is 90 minutes of information right here, just in this little cluster here. Okay. And that's where all those candle bodies are closing right there. And so you need to use larger time frames for confirmation on entries and exits. Like, I'm not checking a 1 minute chart, to chart out my setup, like never. Okay. QQQ, I think, is a little bit easier, guys. Let's go to the 4-hour chart. 4-hour chart. Look at that 518. Let's just take a look at that for a second, that thick line right here. Okay. When we sell under 518, okay, we can see what that ensues. Selling pressure on the day. Okay. Selling pressure on the day under 518. When we're over 518, a bullish trend day and continuation on the upward move. Okay. Think 518 is going to matter tomorrow? Absolutely. This week? Absolutely. Okay. Absolutely. SSS, how do we know when to enter and exit a trade? That's a topic for another lecture. Send me a DM, because I don't know if that is your name in the Discord. Send me a DM to remind me, and I'll send you. I've done a lecture. I know River has too, but I did a lecture on stop loss and taking profit, how to do that. But also, if you pay attention to my tab, the watch list I put out every single day, that is basically how I find my targets every single day in the market. So that's how a good way to learn is just watch my watch list I put out and go, okay, he's marking this level, this level, this level. Why is he doing that? And then go the 30-minute or the 1 hour, you're gonna go, okay, I know why he marked that level. And so that's, that it's a good question, but it's not a question for tonight, because it's very detailed on how we find our targets. But the summary of it, I just look for big candle body closes, big swings in the market. So big movements in the market are my targets. Okay. Any of these candle body closes are my targets. That's how I work every single day. Okay. QQQ, you guys, again, 518. Let's focus on that this week, especially tomorrow. If we open anywhere at or around 518, if we're over that, I think you should take your shots on calls. But again, if it fails, keep your stop loss small, something like this candle body here, depending on if you're in a 0 DTE or 3 or 4 days, stuff like that. But again, your stop, relatively speaking, or generally speaking, excuse me, your stop should be small, and reward, should be a larger profit zone. Okay. These zones here, like I said on here, but 518 is going to be very, very big tomorrow. But again, any sells under that and any double top action, like I always say, week after week, fails breakouts, and we set the opening range top at 518, then I'm bearish on the day, for some sort of a retrace down to these levels here. I don't know how far we get. Maybe we come to 516 and we bounce back up over. But for me, this is what my focus is tomorrow. So I hope we open around that. I don't really want to gap up, because then we're going to gap up right to the daily 9 moving average. If we gap over that, that's fine. We can use that as support, but I just hope we open somewhere near that zone there. Simplify VWAP. VWAP is volume weighted average price, I think. So it is taking the average. Don't quote me verbatim. It's taking the average on the price action for the day. I don't have VWAP on this chart, do I? Or is it? Nope. But it's taking the average on the day. And a lot of people, they strictly just use VWAP. They turn off the upper and the lower, and they just use the middle. And if that's all you trade off of, I usually have mine blue. You can see how much it respects it. And once we're over it, it kind of sets the trend for the day. So, so a lot of people, Frank Daniels, a lot of people will trade strictly at around the VWAP. So they'll miss this big breakout move. They're like, you know what? Let me just wait for it to come back. They'll set alerts or something like that, and they'll just trade at or around it. They're like, hey, VWAP's holding for this this next hour, and they're like, get long, stay long on it. Or when we get below it, get bearish and stay bearish. When we sell through it there, stay bearish on the day until we get back to it. Yeah, Zachary, those are the multi-day time frame moving averages. If you're on Thinkorswim, just look that up, multi-time frame moving average. I just have my 920, my 200. That's what I do. You can use whatever you trade off of, but that's what I do. Okay. QQQ, you guys, again, any questions on this? But 518 is the zone to watch. I'll put some notes in my tab tomorrow morning on if we open over it or below it. But any pushes over, we're looking for 520. 520 should come easy if 518 holds. Okay. Push up to the shaded area is kind of that stair step down, that little trigger there that sold down. Definitely 522. Be cautious on your calls, especially if you're in your position there. And then obviously that trend line. So maybe we get this move in one day. Maybe we get half the move. We kind of consolidate. We push the next day or whatever it is. I don't know. Or maybe we just fail this complete and we come down here and we get bearish on the day or the week. I don't know. But that trend line is super important. And again, for last time, 518, you guys. All right. Now to your request list, you guys. That's why we're here. Tesla is the first request. I'm on the 4 hour. I looked at it, didn't love anything. I didn't absolutely love where it was at, but I wanted to wait to mark this line here until to see if someone requested it, and they did. So Chen, C-H-E-N, I think I'm saying your name right. Okay, we're on the 4 hour chart. Any opens at or over tomorrow early on the day, this 514.42 here, this big thick line for you guys that are maybe watching on your phone, any opens at or over that. Okay, so why is that a good trigger to be bullish on? Okay, let's look. Support failed and is now resistance. Okay, so this is resistance until it's not. Okay, so any opens over that, a gap over, or an open below it and a push over, that is sellers temporarily, at least for the day, giving up at that zone there. And so old resistance is now support, should be treated as support. And that's how I would trade this. And so I like this level here. But again, if we open anywhere in between, we're kind of in the middle of we're in between two zones. So either play Friday's close and to push up into this zone here and trim everything but one, leave a runner. But again, you never want to like take a full position, not trim there again, and have it reject back to break even. You're like, why didn't I sell? It's 35%. Okay. Or any sells through Friday's close, you can be bearish short term into your next big support zone and just wait for that. Okay. If you're not a put buyer for whatever reason, that's fine. All you got to do, send an alert. So you know what? I don't want to buy puts. It makes me nervous on this zone. Just send an alert for a back test or any break over. This is all I do every single day, you guys. That's how you catch your moves, because we don't have 10 screens, or you don't need 10 screens, with a chart on each. It's like send an alert, wait for it to fire off and go, okay, Tesla just broke this big level that 1K talked about. Maybe I should look to be bullish on it. Okay. Or Tesla's coming down this level here. Maybe I should take a look at it. Okay. But you said you want to be bullish on this. So again, let's zoom in on a tighter time frame. Let's go to 30-minute. So let's see where we open tomorrow. But again, chart still looks the same, is the same thesis for me. So any hold at this level, you guys, is a hold of support. We should treat this as a trend day. We'll see how far we get. Again, your daily 9 and your 20 are stacked. These are stacked right here, okay? We sold down, we consolidated, we're pushing up. So now the moving averages have caught up. So this is like a double, I'm gonna make up a term here, double strength and resistance overhead, okay? If we start pushing this 423, 424 tomorrow, and you're like, man, why are we just consolidating? Why are we not breaking up? Go to the daily, look where your daily moving averages are. They're right overhead. And these are gonna act as resistance, some form first touch, okay? First touch resistance. Again, how does that line up there? Let's look left. Look at that. Sell down on Wednesday zone right there. Okay. So any opens over it, I want to be bullish on this name. Sorry, had to let the dog out. Any opens over this name, Chen, I'm bullish on it for the day. Any sells under, and my mindset mentality, I'm going to check the rest of the market, but my mindset is, look for some puts to retrace. There's a lot to play in here. You can catch a $4 down move into Friday's close on puts, and then boom, you can flip bullish on some calls, or you can wait, let sellers take their turn there, and boom, push it up. Okay. Clear this. All right, I'm trying to keep up the chat, making sure I didn't miss anything that's in real time. Otherwise, I'm gonna keep going down, guys. Usually I don't do double requests, but I see another one for Amazon, so we're gonna hit that one, and then Christopher AVGO's next. Dang it, still in drawing mode, sorry. Amazon. There's a little bit of some big flow on one of these days down here. They bought on a down day and they got paid big time. Amazon's in a tricky spot. I guess I'm glad you guys request this because we can go over this together. But let me remove this here. Any opens and holds of, 224 basically. 224 on Monday, or actually I guess this week. Okay, so guys that are new to charting, why did I grab that? I'm on the 4-hour chart. Again, you grab larger time frames to grab your levels. Okay, we can see this bounce zone here at 224. Big reaction there, bullish bounce over. Okay, a couple days later, we sold through it. You can see when buyers give up, selling pressure. When buyers give up, selling pressure, selling pressure. Buyers give up, selling pressure. We're now over it as of now. And if that candle holds, that's a big hammer candle right at 224. Okay. So you guys that requested Amazon, any opens at or over 224, buy calls, definitely. Because guess what? Look at that purple line. That's my 9 daily moving average. Look where it's at. It's stacked perfectly on that. So that is 2 forms of support there. You do not want to be bearish when there's 2 big supports right here. Okay. Any sells under and a retest, take your puts at that zone, small stop out, because if we push over, we're probably going to push over and go more. Okay, stop out your puts, that's fine. Any sell under, and you see that rejecting, double top-ish, whatever it is, that's where you take your puts. You don't watch it sell down, go, okay, now I want to take puts down here at this support, this support, this support. Okay, you take puts at resistance, not at support. So Amazon, kind of a nice one tomorrow. Let's see if we open. We may gap up a little bit based on this price action here where we close on Friday. We'll see. Anything can happen overnight or over the weekend, excuse me. But it push over and we, don't make it hard. Let's just look left. Big target for me, definitely 225.56 basically. All those wicks there. Gonna be a little bit of resistance there. Okay. AVGO. Ooh, I know we talked about this last week or a couple weeks ago. AVGO, you guys, look at that 239. Christopher, 239. See that level there? Was support, sold, failed break over 1, 2, 3, 4 days in a row now. Okay. So you want to be bullish on this, that is fine. Let me find how I would trade this. Okay, bullish setup. Let's see what these wicks look like. Yeah, I can work with that. That makes sense. Yeah, I like that one. Definitely a dip buy. Christopher, if you're still in here, 229 zone. Any sells into that, I would let sellers take their turn, but definitely support there. Got to try calls off that. Why? Friday, double bottom. Old resistance is now support. Okay, guys, don't make charting and trading hard. Okay, let's look for that zone in there on AVGO into 229, or any opens over. Yeah, you can take calls, but guess what? Now your daily 9 is overhead, so be mindful of that. So yeah, take calls here, trim, get a break over that, ride those up to this top zone. But you better believe if I'm taking this play at 239, I'm trimming everything or taking everything, because failed to get up there, rejection, rejection, rejection. Okay, that's all just from last week. Do you think there's still sellers parked there? Absolutely. But again, trim on the way up, leave a runner. If you break out, now that's your home run. That's your 200% play, your 100% play, whatever it is that you see people post about. It's like they trimmed all the way up, and now you leave a runner for free, stress-free, and you ride that out for the next day or two, whatever it is. Okay, kind of a nice setup there. Apple, I like this one. Thank you for requesting it. iPhone 15. Let's go to the daily. Apple is at a crucial spot this week. For the last 2 days, hopefully you're not late to puts, because there's some buyers still stepping in here. This is the line. This is what they're holding for now. This I'm gonna make this real quick. This shaded area right here. Damn it. Screwing it up. You guys get the point. This pocket here is support until it's not. Okay, let's zoom in a little bit for iPhone. I'm now in the 30-minute chart here, guys. So we can see that price action from last week. Buyers held. Yeah, hard sell for sure, but guess what? It's selling to support, and Friday, not a whole lot. So consolidation is going to lead to a breakout or a breakdown. Maybe tomorrow, maybe Tuesday, maybe Wednesday, maybe next week. I have no idea, but this is definitely one to watch. I'm glad someone requested this. So what we have here, let me get out of this real quick. Immediate short term, we have this. Okay, so option number one, how to play this, Apple. I'm on the 30-minute chart. If this pre-market action holds, I'm just doing this just for the hell of it, or just for quickness. You treat this as a trend line and you stay bullish on this for a hopeful breakout over this Friday pre-market action. Okay, any pre-market action under the trend line, now we have a couple options. Okay, do you take your dip buy here, or definitely you take it here? Okay, so a little bit of risk here, because it's probably an opening day trade. It's Monday morning trade, might be your first trade of the day, but there's literally 3 levels of support here, at least for me, some big support levels to watch. So if you buy a February contract, yeah, take your shot here, watch the price action. If it comes down here, don't freak out. You got 60 days or whatever on some time. But if you're buying a Friday expiration contract, you got to decide, okay, do I want to cut for a small loss on calls and take some puts down into here, possibly down into here, or do I just cut for a loss and watch the price action? So definitely though, any sells into this this 242, this 242.20, like there's no way I can watch selling and then take puts here. No way. But any gaps down or pre-market and we sell into the, absolutely. What do we have on the daily? 1, 2, 3, triple bottom, you guys. Huge support there. Okay, huge support at 242. all the way up to basically like 243.50, 243.60. We really, it's a little pocket consolidation. It's only a couple days, but that's what it is right now. We're stuck in this. So we could very well trade into this in Apple chop range in here for another day, or we break out or we break down huge. But for puts, you either got to, snipe it here and trim, or you let the whole move happen, sell through, confirm sell through, retest, puts there. Again, small risk. I'm not buying puts here and waiting for it to go this far against me and then go, okay, now I'm going to cut the puts. It's like, no, take a small loss if you're wrong, but if you're right, your reward is big. Okay. Nice request on Apple. Oh, I'm behind in the chat, of course. PDD. Haven't done that one in a while, I do not think. Is that a China name? Possibly. Let's see. Where are we at on this chart? Let's go to daily. Bullish over 96.81. I can agree with that. Definitely. Definitely a bottom feeder play. Ugly chart, no doubt. Been selling down since September or beginning of October. But now I'm kind of seeing it's never a pattern until it until the pattern, actually happens. Other than that, it's just some lines on the chart. But definitely one of these. Look for a breakout. Okay. Yeah, I can agree. Anything over this 96.80 zone, because it's the daily chart, you guys. We have our moving averages catch up and curling. So we could very well break out this week. We could very well chop and consolidate. And if you like to buy shares or long swings, that is ideally what you want to see. You want to see some consolidation. Sellers are not making any progress. And then these moving averages are going to curl underneath the price action, underneath. And then you have 1, 2, 3 forms of support. I like that. Definitely want to watch here. I don't play this name. I think I've traded on shares before, but I don't trade on options. But definitely one to watch. Nice chart. But any sells under that, man, that's a big support break. Any sells under that. All right, scanning the chat, trying to get caught up. Yep, George, you have one Apple call. I'm just getting caught up on the chat. 250 call. Not gonna say you're safe, but I like that setup on any breakouts of Apple. Amazon. Wiz, good to have you. Microsoft, I have that on my list. I don't remember what I said in the Discord. I think Microsoft was one of them. Maybe not. I know we talked about this last week, you guys. I'm on the daily because we got some thick lines. We got a line chart here. So Microsoft is tricky. Decision time, I mean, to me, I think it's got to happen this week. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 days. So we were here last week. Shoot, 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, wait, didn't trade. So we were somewhere around here last week. Okay, so trend line and moving average overhead are still resistance. And we keep selling through, but now we close at this 422.20 with this big thick line here right down the middle. Okay, that is, as River would say, that's the line in the sand. So any holds over that, I think you can safely, I'm using air quotes, take some calls. I'm gonna go the 30-minute chart for you here because there's a couple of things to watch. So on the daily, you got your 9, your 20 overhead. This yellow line, we haven't talked about this yellow line yet. What is this? This is the daily 200. Okay. If a stock is under that, that is, generally speaking, that is a very bearish sentiment. If it is over that, that is a long-term bearish trend sentiment because it moves very, very slow. Okay. So that's overhead not far. So Microsoft has some work to do, but not all hope is lost. Okay. So there's that yellow line I was talking about. That's the daily 200. So that is even though it's a moving average, it is a line that moves very, very slow. There's a form of resistance. So if I were literally to draw a line like this, that's how you should treat that, you guys, the moving averages, okay? The shorter ones obviously move faster. The 200 moves slower because it's a 200-day, 200 days is the average on that moving average, okay? Microsoft, as of now, at least, on a shorter term time frame, has broken out. So I want to see, it's simple for me on Monday. Wiz, if you're still in here, your daily 200 is going to open like this. I want to see a break over and hold, okay? That is my confidence to get long, stay long on it. You're in a weekly, let's see, were you bullish on this? Sorry. Try and check the chart. Wiz, were you bullish on this? Sorry, I see in the chat now. Yes, all right, cool. When did you enter? What price level? Can you tell me that? And then just so we can speed up the class, but since I don't have your attention, I'll wait for you. Like, let me know roughly Friday before close. Okay, so, okay, well, as long as this price action holds, you're in good shape. So we closed here, basically, probably 423.5. So for me, I don't know what the theta offset decay is going to be, but any gap up to this, definitely watch this level here. So if you can do a split screen on your charting step, or if you're on Thinkorswim, definitely turn on the 200-day moving average and see where that lines up, because I suspect, for the sake of your calls, I want to see a hard push over, and basically, sellers give up on this resistance here, and this is support all day, or maybe we just blast through and don't look back. That'd be awesome for you. But again, somewhere around that 425, you're going to see some resistance because it's going to line up right there. All these candle bodies right there, right there, right there. I could go back and reverse for a long time, but any sells under, and you got to start thinking, okay, am I going to hedge this even though it's short dated? Am I going to cut for a loss? Am I going to take some puts? You got to decide. So if you start seeing some rejections on this zone here, it's kind of decision time, because 2 days of theta, you held through. So like I said, I don't know what you're going to open at. You took your calls somewhere down here. So hopefully you're up a little bit green. But again, if you start trickling down that zone there, it's decision time. But I hope that breaks out, because that'd be, really nice for shareholders, for swing traders as well. Definitely a nice spot there. Take a quick drink real quick, guys. Flips took, yeah. Flips is a beast. So if he's in it, he's seen something. But I know he lives on the 4-hour, the chart. So he probably is seeing something, similar, or I'm not going to speak for him, but maybe he's eyeing this trend line. Maybe he's like, you know what, strong close. I think we're going to gap over. I hope we gap over. That could be very well what he's playing. But yeah, since you guys are in those calls, hopefully that works out for you guys. Really hope it does. Viral, good to have you in here. SoFi. Haven't played this in a while. Good entry on shares. Was dumb, greedy. Gave a bunch of gains back. 4-hour chart. My lines are red. That's bugging me. I don't know why they are, but we're gonna roll with it. Let's check the daily. I need some more information here, Viral. That 14. Just gonna change this back to our a default color. Figure out where the hell we're at, because I know this has put in some big moves this year. Yeah, 14. So I'm going all the way back to, I guess 5 years, January 11th. And these levels still hold pretty true. So for me on the daily, you got assigned shares. All right. Excuse me. I'm gonna go to the 1 hour. So 3 big levels here. I mean, we can see that 15.4, 15.50. We'll get over that. We push. That's kind of our pivot, so to speak. we get under that selling pressure. And so to be honest, we're kind of just right in the middle. And so um 14.9, 15, it's a smaller name stock or cheaper stock, so every penny matters. But that 14.92 has been kind of a big zone there. So I would watch that zone there, but I mean, definitely there's still big buyers at 14. You know, however many years back we got to go. 14 is your dip buy. As you get up into this 15.5, that's, you know, a lot of selling or sellers are parked there. I would treat that as some selling pressure there. Definitely it's a tricky spot, and your 2 moving averages are stacked overhead. And so selling calls, you kind of want to be at some key zones here. So I would watch that 14, 14.92, which is basically 15. And that 1546 is big. If we hit that this week, that's the big spot to watch, 1546. Ryan, great question. How far, when I'm looking at these setups, basically, I'm treating everyone's questions and requests as a day trade. But if you guys are looking for swings, put that in the chat so I know. But great question, Ryan. I'm treating these as day trades because that's what most of us do here. But again, I can easily give on any setup a swing thesis on what to look for, because that would vary a lot on, like, hey, if you enter here, stop out here. A day trade versus something that has 4 months of time, those stop losses are going to be different for me on how I chart. So good question. But yeah, you guys, any guys have request, if it's shares or swings, please put that in the chat. I guess I didn't say that, sorry. Juan, yeah, definitely include extended hours, definitely, because there can be some sneaky stuff like this here. Juan, I'm on SoFi still. So all this extended hours stuff right here, like that's a big deal to me. When I see pre-market action like that coming down to 14 and there's buyers still there, that's a big deal to me. Because otherwise, we close here, we open here at basically 15, and I'm like, okay, take your calls, that's fine, you're bullish on it, you made some money. But it's like, I want to see absolutely this pre-market action. Hey, there's still buyers there at 14 and in a big way. Because if I didn't have that information, I have a recent double bottom here, 2 weeks apart, whatever it is. And so to me, seeing this pre-market action one and saying, hey, they bounced that pre-market, the share volume might not be a lot, but there's still buyers there. There's investors buying at 14. Okay. And so when I come back into this on Thursday, I'm going, hey, merely, 10 days ago or whatever it was, 5, 8, 10 days ago, they bounced this level at 14. Absolutely. If we come into 14 again, I'm going to take calls there. And if you did, you got rewarded huge on that big bounce up. Good question, Juan. Big Nate, Bitcoin. I am not good with Bitcoin. Send Grizzlies a DM or go to the crypto tab. We have a tab called crypto. Ask him that. I cannot give any, overnight session. I cannot give you any information on that, or advice, sorry. Skylar, Affirm, I think it is, AFRM, if you're still in here. Ooh, I think I like this one. Let's see. Skylar, if you're still here, let's see, let me check the chat. If you're still in here, let me know what you're looking for on this one, because this can provide a good setup for us. Again, this is a day trade setup thesis. Cup and handle longs. Yep. Love it. So for me, if you're not already in, what I would tell you to do, if you can, is be patient because it's not far off, it's 50 cents away, is a breakout retest of this support. Okay. Because it is resistance until it's not. Resistance. Okay. Support, big bounce, and then it sold through. So now we choose resistance. So any break over 67.5, absolutely. Okay. So cup and handle-ish action, You could take your calls off Friday's close or the daily 20, but even better yet, if you get this early action, this early push here, let me zoom in a little bit for you on why I like this for calls potentially, is you have a reclaim support, reason number one to be bullish. Your daily 20 is going to curl underneath you, reason number two, and your daily 9 is going to curl faster because it's a shorter time frame. It's not going to curl that fast, but just for speed of the class. So now you have 1, 2, 3 forms of confirmation support for either a swing or a day trade. So if we break out here and we start consolidating, these moving averages are going to stack up right underneath it. And you're going to have 3 forms of support stacked. So you thought 1 form of support's good. How about 3? That's your reasoning to stay long over 67.5. Any rejections under, we're day traders, we're not, hypothetically buying shares on this, so we can take puts to the downside. So any sells under that, we got to start thinking, okay, big money, whoever it is, does not want that to go over the 67.50, and they're still rejecting. So if they reject that, to me, I got to treat that supply, and we can dip buy, we can find some dips to dip buy, but it's like, if I see that breakout continue to fail 2 days in a row, whatever it is, like I'm getting weary. And if you don't want to take puts, you sit it out, and you just, what I would say, just set an alert. That's all you can do. So very nice setup though, potentially very nice setup. Let's see. George, you need my studies window? Yeah, take a screenshot, brother. Multi-time frame moving average. And when you open it, so this one is hour exponential 20 close. You open it, hour exponential 20 is your length. So this is my hourly 20 that River got everybody on, because River's awesome. He always says the hourly 20. That's exactly what that is, you guys, the hourly 20. And my multi-time frame daily moving averages is as simple. So it's on the daily close. It adds up the price action on the close of the day. It's not exponential. Okay. Crash miss. I think I'm saying that correctly. Hate to do it. AMD bullish. You know what? It's not pretty, but it's not horrible. So let's look at the daily. Let's look at that 122.62. I know we talked about that several weeks ago, or multiple weeks. Look at that reclaim. It is now short term. It's attempting downtrend, 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 setting a at least recent higher low. This is a low and it's higher. It's a higher low. So any holds of this 122.62 this week. And for me, people say, how do you get into swings? How do you try and find swings? This potentially could be a swing play. Potentially, again, I point out stuff all the time and say, hey, this looks good for a swing. And I check back 2 days later and it's totally smoked. So for me, why I'm watching this for a swing trade and for shares, again, I'm on the daily time frame, you guys. Let's look at our moving averages. They are finally catching up. So any consolidation on price action, okay? Bulls are not winning the breakout, but guess what? Sellers are not breaking below this or down to here. Okay, this is all hypothetical. But my point is, let me clear these real quick. So now our 20 is going to trickle in. Eventually, as long as the price is not going lower, this moving average is going to go under. Okay, and look at the 20 or look at the 9 already. Just going to fill it in for you guys so you can see this. It now curled. What did it do? It curled underneath that big daily candle on Friday. Okay, so this is potentially going to cross on any consolidation. And again, like I say, it's not ready for a swing, but any breakout, you guys, on AMD, any breakout of this downtrend, I like this play for shares. I like this for swings. Okay, but again, it's still it's no man's land on swings, because unless you're bottom ticking down here and you're selling, somewhere up here, and just you buy time and you buy here, sell calls, puts, calls. It's never that easy, but just that's my point is until we break out of this, it's a guessing game on swings because we could very well consolidate and boom, knife down. Maybe we get news, whatever it is in the market. So buying long dated calls or puts in here to me is a guess because it's literally, it can go either way. But any break over, and I like that because now you're going to have, like I said, you're going to have a trend line below you, you're going to have a support below you, and you're going to have two moving averages below you. Viral got some January AMD swings before the end of 2024. Getting paid right now. TP1 130 134. Yeah, I mean, I think you're missing a few big ones, but we talking DMs. You got your trade plan. I'm not gonna rag on you for that. Definitely some stuff here. Viral, this recent price action from the beginning of December. Don't forget about that one. Okay. All right, scanning the chat. CRWD, I think that's CrowdStrike. After that one, I'm going to go to a couple of requests or a couple ones I have written down. CRWD. Carlos, AMD over 130. I mean, before that, brother, anything over, like I said, if we break this trend line this week, so again, just to draw this, we have some candles here. If we start doing this, and I guess the 13th would be like Monday, so it might not happen this week, but any breakouts over that, like you can treat this downtrend line as support, or you can treat these old levels as support. So, I mean, if you want to wait till 130, yeah, but like I said, as long as these are holding, definitely day tradable. And then swings, I want to see level 2 at least hold. Like I would treat this as level 1, level 2 at least hold. And then, again, let's say day trade perspective, or excuse me, swing perspective. I'm never going to enter calls here tomorrow and say, hey, my PT1, target 1 tomorrow is all the way up here. Like that's just silly. There's so much information here before you get to that. That would be a swing perspective, hit these levels on some swings. But day trades, there's so much information between there. Okay. Getting distracted. CRWD. Yeah, CrowdStrike, that's so. Ooh, I see some consolidation on the daily. Need to zoom out a little bit, see what we're doing. It's basically a big breakout over the 200. And I'm not gonna say a whole lot of nothing because it's a big range. It's a rather expensive stock, but let's get a game plan. Looking at 361 this week. All right, so bottom range, let's grab that. Oops, excuse me. Okay, I'm grabbing that wick there, wick, and a wick there. Candle body closes, quick charting technique. Look at that. Look at that wick right there. And let's just look left. We get under it, selling pressure, over, under, over, under. Get it? You get the point? 361. Okay, well, your target zone is pretty much there, brother. I guess I shouldn't assume viral. I don't know if you're a male or female. I forgot. All right, let's zoom in because look at that. Look at that top range and look at that green dash line stacked right there. And where would reject? Where do we reject? Does it make sense where we reject? Absolutely. Okay, remember those two lines I just drew and the green dash line? Look at that rejection there. Look at that rejection after hours. You think that matters? Absolutely. So for you, you're damn near at your target. So best case scenario, a little bit of sideways action here and a big, strong bullish push at the open and secure those gains because that's a big spot. Okay, remember we're on the daily, how important that spot was? This is top of range. Down here, bottom range, you buy your calls. Up here, you secure your call gains and you wait for a breakout for some swings, or you look for rejections. And if you want to be a put buyer, absolutely. Double top from Friday. Absolutely. Take some puts there if you want to day trade that. But big spot here on crowd for sure. Big spot. hopefully you're in profit already. Hopefully you bottom tick down here like a champ and you're securing up here because you got your daily 20 and big support zone here stacked working against you. Okay. Let me look at a couple I wrote down and then I'll go back to the chat because we're getting a little short on time. Actually, I need to look at Discord. What was I looking at? Because I forgot. Disney, KO, PayPal. Oh, Sona, KO. Dominique, you want KO? Absolutely. Let's just do that then. KO. And let me see. I like it to nibble on some shares based on the chart. So based on, you buy shares at support. So we're at a big support. But again, 61.61 is basically last chance support. Okay, here's the daily chart. Let me look at a DM from Tilio though. He mentioned something about KO and he's smarter than me. Something about dividends or something. Let me ask him. Let's see. Tilio said it's in a nice pin. It's still forming, no bias. It does. Doesn't look good in either direction. On top of that, yields may need to drop a little more to be competitive for dividend by thesis. So Taylor's pretty smart. That's, maybe that is why that KO is getting beat down and no one really loves it right now. From purely a chart perspective, we can see this has to hold, Dominique. I'm interested in this as well because hypothetically, last May, you buy the dip on some shares, you write it. That's a 20% flip there. It's a slower mover, relatively speaking, but you buy shares on sell. You don't buy shares up here, you buy them down here at support. So for me, I'm definitely looking at this on the daily and I'm going, I kind of want to nibble on some shares, but I also don't want to ignore what Tilio said. But I do like this, Dominique. For me, it is day trade only or swings with time. And if you're going to buy swings with time, Dominique, this is where you try it. So let's go to the 1 hour chart. Okay. 61.61 bounces. Okay. So for me, if you want to be a swing trader, you take your shot here at the bottom of this range, at the bottom of this big support. Okay. It can be February calls, March calls, whatever it is. These will be cheap. I guarantee it. And if this breaks, your loss is small because you guys, we have time on the contract. But if you catch a bounce and a multi-day move on this, it's going to pay huge. You can buy a lot of time on KO and get a 63 call. You get some June. Let's just look. KO. I guess I could have went through their chart, but whatever. Here we are. February, 63 calls, $2.50. Can't do that in Tesla. KO's cheap, you guys, and it's a fun one to trade. Very fun one to trade. So for me, it's just day trade zone. If you want to take a screenshot, Dominique, if you're still here, these levels here, I'll move it to the right so you can kind of see the price action, how well it respects it. But for me, earlier this week, 61.61. I want to see some large wicks like that, and I want to see buyers stepping in again. I want to see stuff like this. Selling into it, big buyback reaction. Selling into it, bounce reaction. Selling into it, bounce reaction. So that's my focus this week on KO. But for me, I have not got into a long swing position on it either way because I kind of just want to see what we do down here at this zone. Does this support hold or do buyers and investors give up and they let it go and they sell through it? So I don't know, but definitely day tradable. Catch it off 61.82. Any bounces or opens over 61.82 or next chance 61.61. But then you catch it off 61.82. Absolutely. I might even put this on the watch list tomorrow. I kind of like this setup. So nice chart. Or nice request, I mean, excuse me. Perfect. Zachary, I don't use heat map or footprint. I know people that do with success. You got to be good at it. You got to know what you're looking at. Otherwise, it's just a lot of noise and it just confuses you. For me, I mean, just for keeping the chart large, I don't have volume here, but I just use volume on the chart. I use my EMAs, I use VWAP, and I use my buy or sell volume percents over here for some confirmation. And then options flow at the end as my last form of confirmation. But it is 6 o'clock for me on the West Coast, you guys. Quick recap, SPY and QQQ. Again, any opens or holds over 590.15. I'll put this in my notes tomorrow on my tab. Pay attention to that. 590.15, I think, decides early in the week because we can see early last week, we tried to break out, failed, breakout, failed, breakout, failed. Now we break out and we held. We were holding this. And so again, resistance, resistance, and now support. Okay, so this is our floor tomorrow on SPY until it's not. Okay, I don't know if we open around that or if we gap up or not, excuse me, if we open where we close and we just go. I have no idea what we're going to do, but any opens under that, wait for a dip buy into there. Okay, QQQ is a little bit easier just because it's going to open at a really huge level, or hopefully 518. Huge level. Let's look at this QQQ 1 hour chart, you guys. Stair step down, stair step into support. Support finally gave way, resistance, and now we're going to open hopefully at that. That makes it easy on us, you guys. Gap ups are hard to judge at the open. We open at support. That's an easy scalping both ways. Calls, sell under, puts, definitely. 518 on QQQ. I appreciate you guys all being here, sticking with me. Very good requests, good questions, all 34 of you guys in here. Hopefully you learned something new. Let's have a great week, you guys. And if anybody's a football fan, go Lions. But with that, I'm in the chat, you guys. My DMs are always open. But with that, you guys, let's have a good night, and I'll see you guys tomorrow.